Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 20 of Your Take, My Take by John and Jacob. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
And today we wanted to start off and kick off our fantasy run of videos because we're going to, as you know, a lot of people are drafting or are about to draft the fantasy team. Yep. Let's be honest, fantasy football season is the best season. It's the reason why people play, why we watch multiple games. Yep. When two crappy teams play, we still watch them because we probably have one or two players on one of these teams, and so we watch them and we enjoy it, and it's competitive and it's fun. And so we wanted to help out. We wanted to give you our top 5 quarterbacks and also some picks for sleepers and potential busts. And so we wanted to give that to you today. We're going to start off with a traditional coin flip, and so I'll have Jacob call up in there.
Tails.
It's heads.
Oh, man.
Well,
I always lose.
Well, I'll go first.
Okay.
And so I'll start with my top 5. And I'll start with 5. 5, I have Dak Prescott for the Cowboys. I think he's going to have a big year based upon the playmakers he has. It depends on how well he's recovered off the injury. I think he has the talent to do it. I don't love Dak. I think you can't overlook the talent that he has around him. He's got a great running back in Ezekiel. He's got good receivers, and he's got the talent to be able to put up big numbers. Will he do it? Will that translate into wins for the Cowboys? I don't know. But before, I think 2 seasons ago, he threw over 4,000 yards, and he was having a good year. And so Dax is number 5. Number 4, it's my boy Kyler Murray at number 4 for the Cardinals. He's my favorite player. For multiple reasons, not because he's a Cardinal, but because he's quarter Korean. But I think he's more than that. But he's only claiming a quarter. But so he's a quarter Korean, and besides that, he is the quickest player in the NFL. He has potential to be number 1 or 2. It's just I don't trust him yet. And it's because of his passing and his body breaking down. That's what happened last season, is during the second half, his body broke down. He wasn't making passes. He wasn't running as much. He got injured. And that's a big concern for me because the Cardinals' offensive line hasn't improved that much to say I feel comfortable for him to be untouched when he goes back and passes the ball. And so that is worrisome. That's why he's number 4. Potentially he could be top 2 or top 3 easily. Number 3, I have Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens, and the main reason why is I'm not a big Lamar Jackson fan. He's a lot like Kyler, but Lamar is probably a better runner at this point, and he's more sturdy. He's bigger. His passing, he's got a strong arm. His passing is not as accurate as Kyler, but I think the Ravens' offense is figuring out how to utilize him as a runner and still protect him from not getting injured. And so the fact that the Ravens have incorporated his talents makes him better than Kyler right now at this stage. Number 2, I have Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. The Wyoming boy who's playing for the Bills. You got to love him. He's tough. He's fast. He can pass. He's now had legitimate talent around him, and Stephon Diggs and Singleton, and he's got a lot of talent around him. And so, and you saw it last year. He can single-handedly win games. So he's a big boy. He runs hard. He's a good quarterback, a good young quarterback. And so I like Josh Allen a lot, just because he does give you rushing touchdowns too. Yeah. Number 1, it's our boy Patrick Mahomes. Yep. I think it's pretty obvious. Patrick Mahomes. He's going to have all the talent around him. He's got the arm talent, elite arm talent. And so I pick him as my number 1, and that's pretty obvious. I think a lot of people do. So who do I think is going to surprise people? Well, that's an interesting question, and I think there are a lot of people. I can actually list a bunch of people, but I'm only going to give you one because I think it's going to be Jameis Winston.
Oh yeah,
for the Saints.
That's a good one.
So he's in a quarterback battle right now with Hill. I like Hill as a BYU boy, but Winston's a much better passer, and it's obvious as you watch the preseason games. Winston's a better passer and a better chance for them to have an aerial attack. And you remember he's thrown 5,000 yards in the season before, yes. And he's got a lot of talent on the Saints, and if he can utilize that and cut down his turnovers, he's going to be top 3. And you remember the year where he threw a lot of interceptions? He was still I think a top 5 quarterback in fantasy because he threw also 5 touchdowns at 400 yards in every game. And so do I think that could have numbers similar to that? I think so. He's got eye surgery. Everyone's saying he can see better. That could be a big thing. And I think he could be a sleeper. I think he's a sleeper. Biggest bust, and Jacob's probably going to agree with me on this. I put him in my top 5.
Oh,
It's going to be Lamar Jackson.
yeah.
If Lamar Jackson doesn't improve his passing, NFL defenses have shown that they can limit his running. And the fact that all he can do is run right now is concerning. But also, it's on the flip side, if he continues to run and get touchdowns, he's going to be really good. But the problem is, NFL coaches and defensive coordinators are very good at their jobs, and they can game plan around a quarterback who can just run. Mm-hmm. We saw that with Vince Young. We see that with a bunch of quarterbacks who just run. If that's all he can do and he can't improve his passing, he will be a bust because they will limit his offensive touches in terms of running and scoring offensive touchdowns. And that's a big problem. But I have faith that Lamar Jackson will show that he improved his passing because he has better tools around him. They went and got Bateman as the number 1 pick from Minnesota. I think he's going to be a good receiver.
He's also out for 3 to 4 weeks. Too.
Well,
yeah,
we'll see. Like I said, Lamar Jackson could be the biggest bust, but also he's a very high reward, big bust potential. And so those are my 2 for potential, sleeper and bust.
All right. Well, now for my list. For number 5, I also have Dak Prescott.
Oh, wait, why did you laugh at me when I said Dax?
Well, never mind. But he was hurt last season. I know he could be easily a top 3. The one problem with him is I don't think he's that talented. He's just a good gunslinger, basically. But the one reason is he has a pass-heavy offense, and he probably has the the best receiving group in the league. They love to pass the ball. They're gonna pass the ball a lot. He's gonna go off this season. For number 4, I have Russell Wilson. I think he's in a similar situation as Dak. They both throw the ball. I think Russell Wilson's more skilled, but he's in a worse situation. Their defense is horrible, so they're gonna be down the whole game. They're gonna have to, they're gonna be battling, so they have to throw the ball a lot. And
Russell has the same issue with Kyler. He has MVP-like season in the first half.
He has to run for his leg.
And in the second half, he completely falls apart.
Yeah, but when he does play and play well and he's not burned out, he's a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Yes.
But the one problem with him is that he doesn't run because mostly he always has to run for his life. And then he has to throw a really deep pass to DK Metcalf, but it usually worked. It worked last season for a good amount of games. So number 3, I actually have Josh Allen. I know he's probably he's probably the number 2 most skilled player, but he just signed a huge extension. He's the franchise player, and if you looked last year, he took the most goal line carries on that team. And if I was the Bills head coach, I wouldn't be doing that. His body's gonna break down.
He's got a dog mentality, Josh Allen. He wants the ball in that. He doesn't care what the coach says. He wants the touches at the goal line.
Yeah, but they also drafted Zach Moss, he's built for goal line.
They had him last year.
Yeah, but he also had to go behind Devin Singletary because that was his final year showing.
If you look at the difference, if you look at the size difference between Josh Allen and Zach Moss, Josh Allen's bigger.
Yeah,
and he's stronger than Moss.
I would say that his goal line touches are not going to be as much as last year, just because he's the franchise player. You don't want him to get hurt because that's how he gets most of his points off rushing. He rushes inside the goal line.
That's a good point.
Okay, so number 2, I have to Kyler Murray. I have multiple reasons. This year is his contract season. If he wants to get paid a lot of money, he's got to show out this season.
He's going to get paid anyways. But go ahead.
Yeah, he's got to show out this season, and same with the coach too.
The coach is going to be gone.
If he doesn't make the playoffs or they don't do anything, he's gone. They spent a lot of money on old players. We signed the 2014 All Team basically.
With AJ
Green and JJ Watt. 2014 they would have been amazing, but now we just signed them for
maybe it was 2016. Come on.
Yeah, maybe. But you're
not concerned about Kyler's slight build and his body breaking down.
I do, but I think that their offensive line did get a little better. They did get one of the best centers in the league, and I think he'll make their offensive line a little bit better. I think they have more receivers than last year.
Unless Kyler put on 20 pounds of muscle.
Have you seen pictures?
No, I don't look at shirtless pictures of Kyler.
I haven't either.
What I'm just saying is, unless he puts on 20, 25 pounds of muscle, the concern that you're going to have is the same we had last year, is that his body broke down. He's 5'10", and like 200 pounds.
Also, one more thing is we didn't have any receivers last year. We don't really have.
We had
any.
Hopkins.
Yeah, but they double teamed him, and then we had.
Who do we have this year?
We have
AJ Green.
We have AJ Green.
We lost. We substituted one really old player
and
Larry Fitzgerald and picked up AJ Green, who's done less than his career than Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Give me my point though, is that last year you can't say we had a great receiving core last year. No, I think it's actually better this year.
I don't know. I think it's very comparable. You're
You think Andy Isabella and Christian Kirk is a better receiving core than this year? Because Larry Fitzgerald didn't play that much last year.
Fitzgerald still played. The question is Rondell Moore going to be able to play the slot?
He makes Kyler Murray look like a giant.
And we also lost our main runner between the tackle and
Kenyon Drake.
Yes.
Here's a stat for Kenyon Drake. Last year, he had the most goal line touches of the running back. He also was the worst running back last year.
Come on. No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. And this guy picked him
in both leagues.
First round.
All right.
So number one, it's obvious. Patrick Mahomes. He's in the best situation. He's got the best offense. He's got a really good offensive line. He's gonna go crazy this year as always. The only problem I have with him is he's on the Madden cover, so he might have the Madden curse.
So is Tom Brady.
Yeah. So we don't know. That's always something to consider.
But he's not dating any Kardashians, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
That's what hurt the Suns with Devin Booker. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so for my sleeper, I'm going to pick Jalen Hurts. This is strictly off fantasy. I don't think he's a great football player, but he fits in that same category.
He's awful.
As Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson.
No.
He runs the ball.
How dare you compare them?
No. I'm not comparing their physical attributes. I'm just saying Jalen Hurts runs the ball a lot. And last year when he started was a top 10 QB. He could go good this year. And remember, this is not real NFL. I know the Eagles are going to suck this year. They were going to get a top pick in the NFL draft.
They are also playing in one of the weakest divisions. So I'll give you that. In playing in a weak division. But Jalen Hurts, what weapons does he have?
He has a lot of young receivers.
They're young and crappy. That doesn't mean anything.
Here's the thing, though. Last year, when he started, he was a top 10 receiver.
Yeah, because no one cared about the Eagles. They were going to beat him by 30.
Yeah, but he also ran the ball a lot as an Eagle.
I know, but people are going to game plan for Jalen Hurts. He's their only threat they have, and they're going to smash him.
They also have Devontae Smith.
Here's the
Miles Sanders can have a bounce back season.
Here's a legitimate thing about Jalen Hurts. He's a decent athlete, but he doesn't read progressions, and he only focuses on his hot receiver, and he throws to that guy no matter if he's triple covered or not.
We can say the same thing about Lamar Jackson, too.
No, Lamar just airs it out.
Yeah,
he just throws a bomb, and that's what he does. He doesn't go for the dinkers. He airs it out. So, yeah, but Lamar is also a way better runner.
Yeah, I would give you that, but I think Jalen Hurts has a lot of value with his legs because he did run the ball a lot last year because he was running for his life last year too.
He will do it this year too.
My biggest bust, Lamar Jackson.
Hey, why are you copying me?
Oh, Lamar Jackson, I hate that guy. I drafted him last year pretty high.
Oh my goodness.
He sucked for me.
He had some good weeks for you.
He had 15 points one week. But
no, he had more than
defenses know how to play him. They're just gonna cover. They're gonna pressure the QB and make sure that he doesn't have any time to throw, and then he's gonna run around, and they already have him covered for that. So, and he's an awful passer.
Awful.
You look at his passes and you think you can't and if you need to watch tape of Lamar Jackson's thing. He's an awful passer.
He has a good arm. It's just he needs to refine some of his accuracy issues.
No, but I will agree. The NFL, like, they figured him out last year. And if he can pass the ball, then sure, he'd be good. But I don't think they have any offensive talent either.
Oh, come on.
Who do they have?
J.K. Dobbins?
J.K. Dobbins is in a running back committee with Gus Edwards.
But
so you're going to say Gus Edwards too?
I don't like Gus as much, but I do like J.K. Dobbins. I like Mark Andrews a lot as a tight end.
Mark Andrews
is good.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't?
Hollywood Brown is also a good threat deep, and Bateman's going to be good for them. They have.
But here's the thing, though.
I think Sammy Watkins is also back on that team. Is on that team. So they improved their offensive play set, and
yes. But let me hear me out. The 6 players you named all got injured last year, and they're all injury prone.
Well, that's everyone in the NFL.
No, that's not everybody in the NFL. Sammy Watkins played 3 games for the Chiefs and won one Super Bowl.
If he's healthy, he's a good addition to that team.
He's that one guy like John Ross that will go off for 1 week. Everybody will pick him up, and he won't do a single thing.
Well, okay. So, Jacob, you and I both agree that Lamar Jackson has the biggest.
He's boom or bust.
Yes, he's boom or bust.
Yes.
But you know what? When he's on his game, he'll give you 40, 50 points because he's going to get some rushing touchdowns and he'll get some long bombs
and some highlights too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I actually like Lamar. I like Lamar because I like pure athletes. He's a pure athlete. He's not a quarterback yet, but I like him. But the fact that you just picked athletes, we didn't pick any pure passers like Herbert.
Well, fantasy doesn't need that. Fantasy,
Matthew Stafford,
yes.
Jared Goff, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is not on anyone's list.
Aaron Rodgers was honorable mention.
He had 48 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, he was honorable mention. I just think that he's not happy to be back in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And their team really didn't improve that much.
I didn't put Wilson in there because I'm concerned about the fact that they didn't spend any time or any effort to improve his offensive line. And like I said, he runs, and he's a great passer on the run, but eventually your body wears out. He's 5 foot. He's also 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
He's a little bit stockier than Kyler, but he's older, and his body's breaking down. Mm-hmm. And if you're not going to help him, he's not going to produce. And that we saw that in the second half. The Seahawks fell apart in the second half.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't have Wilson in my top 5. Besides that, we were very similar. Mm-hmm. It's just I don't think Kyler is that high. I love Kyler, and I think we have a bright future with him. He has to improve making simple out pattern throws and simple passes. He can make some incredible passes, but he has to be more accurate on these 10-yard outs, 12-yard outs, and get Hopkins in open space.
Yeah.
So that's what we think. We can talk about quarterbacks all day because I think we missed a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah. There are a lot of quarterbacks that are out there that I think can make some noise this year. It's just this is our take on the top 5 and some of the potential booms and potential sleepers. Let us know what you think. We're excited about fantasy football. Quarterbacks is a tough position because you don't know if you draft them too high or do I wait until everyone else starts picking them. It's kind of a tough spot drafting a quarterback, and so be careful when you draft quarterbacks. If you draft them too high and you're missing out on running backs and receivers, it could hurt your team.
Draft, yeah.
So be careful on that. But we enjoy talking about fantasy football. Again, that's our top 5 fantasy pick for quarterbacks, and we also provided some sleepers and some potential surprises.
Yep.
So tomorrow or coming up, we're going to be talking about our running backs. That's a very important position.
It's the most important position.
Yeah, wide receivers in the PPR
wide receivers
leagues
are their deep class though.
But you usually need 2 or 3 of them. So
deep class.
Again, we'll talk about that too. But running backs are. Back in the old days, it was a gold standard. You needed to get 2 good running backs, or you're not going to win the league. Now you can kind of finesse that with some really good receivers. Mm-hmm. But we'll be talking about some of our picks for the top 5 running backs coming up. But I hope you enjoyed this episode 20 of Your Take, My Take by John and Jacob. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll talk to you guys soon.